After watching the video, listening to the podcast, and reading both articles, along with all the other knowledge that I've acquired from what we've learned in this class, do I think that language deprivation is a real thing? Yes, I do. And why? Because so many students come into school and they don't have the background knowledge. They don't have the language to express the way that they feel. And this can happen for any student, but I think that it's stronger in deaf and hard of hearing students because so many times in the video, Leah's mom said that Leah was the first deaf person she had ever met. If her mom hadn't gone out and tried to learn sign language and done all this stuff for Leah, she would not have known how to communicate. And that's a problem that so many parents face. They just don't know how to communicate with their child. But at the same time, I feel like many of them are not willing to try because it's going to be harder for them and they don't want to put the effort in. Even if it's going to help their student, their child, they're going to have to do more learning. And I don't think that a lot of parents are always willing to do that. So then, what is the best way to mediate the effects of potential delays in language learning among deaf and hard of hearing students? So one thing that I thought was really great, again, Leah's mom talked about the fact that there's like the whole deaf community and getting involved in that. And if a child does have language delays when coming into school, then exposing them to those things and like informing the parents about these other options, like there's deaf culture and there's these events and these things that you can go to, and these are some opportunities for you to help your child and work with your child along the way. I think that a lot of things like that can really help parents to see that they're not alone. There's a whole support system out there for them that they probably didn't even realize existed. And then another thing, the support groups as well. A lot of times there's support groups for everything. And so, especially something like this, parents are lost and confused and they don't always know what to do. And so, a lot of times, if professionals can point them in that direction and give them also the information about support groups and stuff, I think that that can really help the parents to know, oh, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one that has this problem. Maybe I can go and I have all these questions that I can get answered. And there's other people who are in the same situation as me and feel the same way that I do. And getting the parent to see that like they're not alone in their struggle, that can push them along and help them to get their child to where the child needs to be. Because a lot of times, going back to language deprivation also, hearing parents of deaf children, when they don't know how to communicate and they don't know sign language for their child, they will just continue to speak to their child. Well, when the child is looking the other way and doesn't know that there's any speaking going on, and if the parent's like, oh, look, there's an airplane, look at that over there, and turns away from the child isn't going to know what's going on. And so they're not going to be able to, like, get the language. They can't intake everything the same way that a hearing child can, especially in those situations. They need more, like, focused language instruction, and the parent needs to make sure that the child is looking at them. Even if they are still speaking to the child, if the child is looking at them, they will be able to pick up more than if the parent just speaks and is looking all around the room. What language building strategies will I consider or embed within my instruction when teaching deaf and hard of hearing children? One thing that we've talked about in class that I think is very important is like building on children's background knowledge and scaffolding the information. So with our torpedo example, and we used like the movie Finding Nemo because it has that, most children have seen something like that. And snowflakes, if you're talking about snow, most children have also seen Frozen. Give them connections to things that they know, and also like introduce new things, but I think a lot of the way with learning to teach students a second language, especially elementary students, a lot of the things are like get them involved in what's happening. Like if they can get up and move around and make connections to the words, that's even better. So if students are learning, if they don't know the word jump, if you have everyone get up and jump up and down, okay, well that gives them a connection to the word jump. And then building off of that, then you jump over something. And if you're reading a story and the dog jumped over the chair, then if you can tell children, oh, you know how you just jumped over the little ball in the classroom? The dog, we all know what a dog is, the dog jumped over a chair. So making connections to things that they know and bringing in their background knowledge, even if they don't have a lot of background knowledge, they've seen the things around them. They may not know all the words, and they might not have the language for everything, but if I can give them the language and give them the words for whatever that thing is flying through the sky there, a bird, then oh, you can make connections and you can put things together and build on what the students know, even if they don't always know that they know it because they don't have the words for it.